98 Jerson. Precisely, my wife is from South America, Peru, and precisely the last trip I made there, I met Jerson, although Jerson with a G instead of J at the beginning, which is the husband of one of the nephews. It's not important, but all right, now you got it right.
QSL, I got it now. Thank you very much, Bernardo, or maybe I call Bernard, from Belgium. Call sign Oscar November 5, Victor Delta Echo. And you mentioned your wife is from Peru, Latin America. So you found a name or similar to my name, Jerson. Instead of J is as in Juliet, as in Gold, Gerson. So Venus, what time now in Europe? Venus Diaz, maybe Venus Diaz, Venus Tardes. To your wife, I think he understand this Spanish something, Latin America. I knew a little word of Spanish because I am from Philippines. I spoke Spanish a little bit also, and my middle name is Ledesma, also almost Latin American name or Spanish name. So my grandmother De La Rama, her last name. So anyway, maybe would you like to greet also to John of Indiana Station? He is still, I think, monitoring, Bernard. I think John is still in Indiana, is still monitoring on his track. Maybe would you like to say something or greet him? So back to you, Oscar November 5, Victor Delta Echo. Sir Bernard of Belgium. Back to you, sir. And I'll be in the other side, and this side, monitoring.
Yep, this is John over here monitoring from United States over here in Indiana. And Jerson, I believe his name is Ronaldo instead of Bernardo. If I heard correctly, my brain does pretty good about speaking through or understanding different dialects, different languages. I usually pick up on accents pretty well. It's nice to hear from you over there in Belgium, by the way. Glad to meet you, and back to you guys.
Yes, John, Bernard speaking again. Oscar November 5, Bravo Delta Echo, which is only to see in my profile, indeed. Indiana, you said. Interesting. Because I only went once in the United States, and it wasn't in Indiana, it was in Colorado, Denver. Interesting. And Jerson, you're from the Philippines, Tagalog, no? Tagalog is your language. And Tito Jerson, I would say Tito Jerson. That's the way they call everybody I think there. Because I sometimes am present in Katibok, Filipinas, another channel on Zello. Very interesting. I love languages. And I also, I'm practicing languages just through Zello. Spanish, French, Flemish, and English, But I'm learning Portuguese also, which is another thing. But it's very important. I am a radio ham, that's why, not having many equipments, very powerful, with huge antennas, I can only get back to Zello to speak with the rest of the world.
Yeah, that's kind of the situation with me. The place that I just moved into, I haven't got any towers up or anything like that. I haven't quite got my ham radio license. I have a GMRS license here in the States. Yeah, language is pretty important, and the being able to practice the different languages over and on Zell is quite an amazing thing, and this whole group in general is pretty amazing because you get to talk with so many people around the world that normally you wouldn't be able to. Yeah, I lived in Colorado for about a year when I was 18. I'm 37 now, so that was a long time ago. I lived in just south of Denver. It was Colorado Springs, by where the Pikes Peak races are. You guys can look that up on YouTube sometime. Back to you guys.
I totally agree to Ronald. Thank you anyway, John, for correcting me. Ronald. Belgium station is Ronald, his first name. So thank you for correcting me anyway. And yeah, I agree, both of you, about the language, really important. Ronald knows exactly. We used to call Tito on the radio as so that we can have a tone of respect to each other when we are talking on the radio. So yeah, he is correct. And yeah, that's great. And I really like talking to radio instead of chatting, because at least in the radio you can feel the sincerity of the other person that you are talking in the radio. But anyway, I'm very thankful that you guys can understand me, although I'm not good on English. But at least we still understand each other. All right, thank you very much. Back to you, WSCD 328 or Oscar November 5 VDE, Ronald, Belgium station.
You're not on BPY.
You're right, Jerson. Tito Jerson. I know they call themselves this way among friends. You know? For instance, I know that the Philippines has an history of Spanish, and elderly people can understand Spanish. Por ejemplo, ¿cómo está Tito Jerson? ¿Cómo está? It's written different. ¿Cómo está? K-U, etc. Referring to cómo está in Spanish. It's just the first thing I would say about the similarities between Tagalog and Filipino and in English and everything. But all right. How are you? I mean, it's very late. I mean, it's very early. In Belgium, the local time is 5 minutes to 8 o'clock in the morning of the Friday the 13th of September. But all right. Back to the group, and really interesting encounter. I mean, I have with you, all of you, with different parts of the world.
QSO, likewise. Yes, muy bien. ¿Cómo está? Muy bien. Anyway, to John, I think he said he went to Colorado when he was 18 years old. Colorado. It's I don't much remember that area. What is oh no, I remember about the shooting, the what do you call it in the school, Colorado shooting. Why that's the one who come out in my mind. But anyway, you are 37, John. I am 39. But anyway, let's ask Sir Ronald of Belgium Station. Oscar November 5, Victor Delta Echo. If you don't mind, how old are you? Back to you, sir.
Yes, sir. Back for a minute. Now, 37. Number. Wait. Yep. No. My just for back here.
John, you're having some drops in your speech. I mean, your syllabs I can hear. But indeed, like as Jerson said, I remember the mass shooting on a high school in Aurora, Colorado, Denver, indeed. Maybe more than one, maybe twice. It's really. But I was 18 years old, and it was still a very peaceful planet before it went to what we know nowadays. Completely different, you know. And I see, speaking about United States, Kayla and Donald, more or less, no, are the two competing. Where, or maybe one of them was elected, I don't know. It's just something we observe from far away, from Europe. I don't have any idea, preference about them, but it's just how the world goes.
KSL. I think we have difficulties on the receiving the modulation of John WSCD 328 earlier. I think he passed on a bad spot, no signal spot. So I don't know, but your last modulation is pretty bad. I mean, the modulation was corrupted. It's not clear. So yeah. Anyway, what I forgot this one. You're saying, Sir Ronald, you mentioned your age. What? 80? Can you come back again? My apologies. Pardon me. So back to you, Sir John, on Oscar November 5, Victor Delta Echo.
Yeah, Oscar November 5, Bravo Delta Echo. It's not very important. I mean, my English is not that good, maybe. I was only saying that when I went to United States, staying 3 weeks in Colorado, Denver, it was because it's a result of World War II. I mean, my grandparents, abuelos, were hiding pilots, Jews also, English people also, hiding them from the Germans in the house I was living in when I was young. That's why I was invited by that old veteran, David O'Boyle, which is deceased right now, but I mean, that's the reason I went there when I was 19 years old. I am now 63 years old, because I was born in 1961. That's the idea. But all right, back to the group.
Well, that's a pretty, that's an amazing story you got there about your grandparents. They were, sounds like they were some really good, or they're really good people. So the veteran invited you over to his house. How did you like it over there in the States when you were younger?
You know, when I went to the United States Embassy to get my visa, at that time, 19 years old, I told the same story, which is the truth, of course. And then I remember, I still have a visa. It says multiple indefinite, but not valid for work or study in the United States. These are the only two limitations. But you know, really, if I were to go, because I never went back to the United States, to the contrary of my son and daughter, I never went back. But if I would choose the South, the deep South, when they, where they do moonshine, they play bluegrass music, things like that. This would be my favorite place to get back to.
Yeah, copy that. I actually was friends with somebody down in the Kentucky area, which is south, and he gave me a bottle or a jar of moonshine there that's apple pie flavored, but that moonshine's strong enough you can't even taste the apple pie. It tastes like just pure moonshine. It's some pretty strong stuff.
Well, you know, I even remember the, comment ça s'appelle encore, those Kardashian, c'est ça, non? Sisters going there and trying. Maybe the sister, you know. But I don't follow that reality TV show. It was not the Kardashian. It was the no. But it doesn't matter. But you know, I have a lot of fruits in my garden, like for instance grapes, and I could make pisco out of them. I could make grappa, which is in Italy the same idea. You know, I have made a still, but it's not completely done. You know, the still, you know what is it? A part when you boil the mash, and then it goes to a thumper sometimes, and then after that it goes to the coil into cold water, and then at the end you get what you want, indeed. So, you know, just that. Then apart from that, you know, it's the same culture of those Kentucky you named, and Georgia, maybe others, other states, they do that, and it's considered to be illegal, but it's just using a very well-known phenomenon, just that if you boil things it gives you some spirit. Even the Arabs, Arabic countries, have invented that, the still alambique in Spanish and everything. All right. Sorry, I spoke too much.
So I'm sorry to hear about Ronald, about that you are hiding. Your family hiding before during the World War. So you are very young on that time, I guess. As you mentioned. But anyway, that's why war is really so annoying. I don't really like war. And it's very sudden when you hear our world today, in different part of the worlds are having this kind of trouble. So but anyway, it's past experience. But I hope everything is fine to you over there, and in Belgium, especially in Belgium. But you have a great experience too on Colorado when you're young. You mentioned about moonshine. It's that liquor, right? We have in the Philippines we have gin, only gin and beer, San Miguel beer. But anyway, that's a story. Nice. At least I was able to hear your story, and let's see if John is still monitoring. I think he's still driving, but let's see.
KK4 BFM, Kilo 4, Bravo Foxtrot Mike, Captain Bob, Florida, just listening.
Yes, Bob, good. Yes, Bob.
KK4 BFM, Kilo 4, Bravo Foxtrot Mike, Captain Bob, Florida, just listening.
Early in the morning for you, in Florida. No. All right. I was just mentioning that I would go back to United States only to see that part of Kentucky, Georgia, where the moonshine and where they play bluegrass music that I really enjoy.
All right, let me acknowledge first the station of Kilo 4, Bravo Foxtrot Mike, Sir Bob of Florida, United States of America, NR1 Bravo Alpha Tango here, Abu Dhabi station, with the first name Jerson. My name is Jerson, together with Oscar November 5, Bravo Delta Echo, and Belgium, Sir Ronald. And John from Indiana, I think he is still Indiana station is still mobiling, WSCD 3868 something. John, I think he's still also in the network, in the channel. So greetings back to you, Sir Bob, and I hope you're okay. How is your weather? How is the weather there? How are you? And back to you, sir, and here monitoring for the meantime. Back to you.
Good morning. This is Captain Bob, KK4 BFM, joining in that. It's Bernard is correct. It's about 2 a.m. in the morning here, but good morning to Jerson, good morning to Bernard and good morning to John. And I have to compliment Bernard and Jerson on their English. They're very good speaking English. And I've been to Europe for a month one time, and it was so difficult for me to try and get by in Europe speaking the German and Swedish and French and and British, and I can't understand half the British, but anyway, so I compliment Jerson and Bernard for their ability to speak English. I can understand every word, and they're doing a very good job. And John in Indiana must be on the road traveling, but I'm here in Florida, and it gets so hot here in the summertime that I get up early in the morning, like 1 or 2, and I don't go to bed till the afternoon because it's so hot. So I'm like working the midnight to 8 shift. Captain Bob, back to net control.
QSL, thank you for the compliment, Captain Bob. Kilo 4, Bravo Foxtrot, Mike, Captain Bob, Florida. Florida. I guess many people are trying to move over there from different state in America. I think they like to go there in Florida, if I'm not mistaken. Especially those people from California or New York, something. They wanted to live in Florida. If I'm as per in the new YouTube, in the news, something like that, when I was watching. So thank you again for the compliment, together with us, with Sir Ronald of Oscar November 5 Bravo Delta Echo of Belgium Station. We are trying our best to speak English, because I'm not I'm not English spoken actually. I'm from Philippines, so it's like second language, not really my language, but we are trying to speak English, and as Sir Bob says, as Sir Ronald says, the language is really very good to learn. It's like art, something like that. So back to you, Sir Bob, or Sir Bernard. Maybe would you like to comment about that? Oscar November 5 Bravo Delta Echo Belgium Station. Go ahead. Sir Bob is waiting.
328 here. Yeah, the more you speak, the easier it gets, the less trouble you have. So talking on here really makes a big difference on, your guys' language barriers and learning new languages. Yeah, me and Florida have the same time area, so the only difference is about 70 degrees here, and it's probably about 80 or 90 there. So I'm a little bit cooler up here in Indiana. Over to you guys.
Yes, of course, and you would speak in Fahrenheit degrees, which is a little bit different, a little bit higher. I mean, the numbers, if you want to speak about 20 degrees centigrade, it would be like 75, something like that. I don't know the formula to go from one to the other. But it's precisely what I'm complaining about. It's just that today and yesterday the weather was cold, really, at the end of summer, and normally we were used to up to 30 degrees centigrade, and we even had to use a fan in the garden to keep cool, really, and today, I mean, it's the opposite, it's really different.